Hello, welcome to my video. Today I'll be doing IGCSE past year paper 060622 October-November 2018 series. Solve the inequality bracket x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 4, which is greater than x plus 13. So of course, the first thing you have to do is to simply expand the bracket. And you carry on with your calculation. You will get x squared plus x minus 12, which is greater than x plus 13. So on the left hand side here is a quadratic equation, while here is just a linear equation. So now all you have to do is to eliminate the x over here first. So when you eliminate the x, notice that if you know, you can skip this step. Of course, the more you write down, usually the less mistake you will make, but it's up to you. You will eventually come to this stage where you only left 2x squared minus 12 on the left hand side with only 13 on the right hand side, because you eliminate the x. And all you have to do is to shift the 12 back to the right hand side here, which you plus both sides by 12. And here we only left with x squared, while on the right hand side you will get 25. Notice that the square root of 25 here, you can actually get either x equals to 5 or x equals to negative 5. So to decide the range of x, I will usually give two answers. You write down both answers first, and then you have to decide the sign. So in this case, when I look at x is greater than 25 here, usually when it comes to this question, they will specify they want the x to be a positive or negative value. And in this case, I just interpret it as a positive value. So I will take all the x values above this horizontal axis over here. This straight line basically means the x horizontal axis here. This is my way of approaching this question. So I will just take everything above the line if it's a positive value, and everything below the line if they want us to give x in a negative value. And in this case, I will take all the x value above the positive line, and in this case above the horizontal line, sorry. And in this case, it will be all the values smaller than negative 5 and all the values bigger than 5. Moving on to the second question. This is a Venn diagram question. There are 105 boys in a year group at a school. Some boys play football and some play cricket. And X boys play both football and cricket. So when you read until this part, immediately use a pencil, write down X in the middle part over here, because this part basically means and it's kind of straightforward. It tells us that the amount of people that play both football and cricket. So write down your X first. And the number of boys that play either game is the same as the number of boys that play both. So in another word, neither game means that they didn't play any of the football or crickets. So this number of people will be laying outside of the two circles. And it's the same, so we can just put the x as well, because the x itself is suggests the numbers that play both football and cricket. Also suggests numbers that play neither of them. And the third instructions over here is that 40 boys play cricket. So it means that inside the circle of seeing crickets over here, the total number of people who play it is equals to 40. So I will just put out any other symbol over here where x plus y equals to 40. And the number of boys that only play football is twice the number of boys that play only cricket. So in other words, the number of boys that play only football, notice that I say only football, so it means anyone who lays in this area. It doesn't include the x, the middle part over here, because they only play football. So I use Z to signify people, to put it as the symbol represent people who only play football. And here it say is twice the number of boys who play cricket. So here I also need to write down that z is equals to 2y. Y here means number of people who only play crickets. So when we put our entire diagram in this way, it becomes more straightforward to us that since the total number of boys in a year group is 105, we also know that 105 basically equals to z plus x plus y plus x again, which means all the area inside this rectangle. So complete the Venn diagram and find the value of x. So what you have to do here is to find the value of each of this unknown. So of course we can start from over here by changing 105 by changing this equation first, because we can manipulate it easier. Oh, sorry, here is actually plus. Okay, so since we know that z equals to 2y, you may change it first, change the z to 2y first. And here we have 2x, so I can just put a 2x over here plus y. So in another word, 105 means 3y plus 2x. So since we have reached a stage, we can also use the equation x plus y equals to 40, this equation, by setting y as the subject. And then we can sub the y here into here to find the unknown x. And then you solve the equation, multiply the 3 with 40, you get 120 minus 3x plus 2x. Then it becomes more straightforward that 105, it just equals to 120 minus x. So we get x equals to 15. Since we got x, everything can be solved much easier afterward. You just have to substitute your 15 into here. So you will get y equals to 40 minus 15, which in another word equals to 25. And since you get y, you will be able to get z as well, because z just 2 times y. So it equals to 2 times 25. You will be getting 50. So all you have to do is to complete the Venn diagram. Your z you can just basically equals to 50. And the x here, you can erase the symbol here. You can put it become 15. Here you also 15. And the y here is 25, so y here is 25. And this is how you complete. This is one way of doing this question, and I will find this the easiest way to approach this question. This is the third question in this paper. An equation had a curve as equation y equals to x power 3 over sine 2x. Find its dy dx. So when we come to this part, when we come to this function, we may use quotient rule to find its dy dx. Because as you can see, x the power of 3 x cubed is a function in x, and sine 2x is also another function in x. We have to use quotient rule when we solve this question, when we differentiate it, and that way it's pretty straightforward. You have to differentiate the top part first, and you multiply by its original one, which is sine 2x. Just multiply it and then minus your differentiated bottom, and then you multiply with your original x cubed. And then after that, you just have to square whatever is at the bottom. You will be able to get this answer, where 3x squared is the differentiated value of x cubed. As you move the 3 down, and then you minus your power by 1, and then sine 2x is just the same, minus your original one, which is x cubed itself. You don't have to do anything. Then you have to multiply it with the differentiated version of sine 2x. And in this case, you change the x to cos, keep whatever is inside the same 2x, but you have to multiply by 2 again because there's a 2 inside here. You just have to kind of like multiply it by 2, because that's the way you differentiate the trigonometry symbol. And after that, all you have to do is to square the entire thing at the bottom. This is a 3 marks question, but this is all you have to write down to get all your 3 marks, because the examiner wants you to see how you differentiate your x cubed, how you differentiate your x2x, and then your use of your using the quotient rule as you approach this question to find the correct dy dx. This is all you have to do to get your 3 marks. And after that, you will come to your second part of the question. Find the equation of the tangent to the curve at the point where x equals to pi over 4. So when you see this value pi over 4, you know that your answer must be in radian form. So when you type your calculator, if you need it, when you solve this second part of this question, you have to check that your calculator give you the answer in a radian form. So you may change it first before you do anything. So of course, when x equals to pi over 4, you may first find its y, because they give you the y equation here. All you have to do is to sub in pi over 4. So you just sub your x in, and then when you type your calculator, if your calculator gives the answer in radian, you will actually get 1. So sine 2 multiplied by pi over 4, you will actually get 1. So you can just omit this part from this step onward, because you know this is equals to 1, and pi over 4, the power of 3 divided by 1 is still 1, so we only left with the value pi over 4, the power of 3 itself. So this is your y. And then this is the point where the tangent and the curve will intersect. And this is needed to calculate the equation for your tangent, because your equation of your tangent is a straight line, and it can be found by using this y equals to mx plus c, where c is this intersection with y-axis, m is this gradient. And to find m, all you have to do is to sub your x value into your dy dx function up there, because at this point they intersect, which means that gradient is the same at this point. So to find m, all you have to do is to sub in. It's best to write down everything, the entire equation again first, and then you replace this x with pi over 4 to avoid mistakes. And all you have to do is type in your calculator to find this one, and of course this equals to 1, and this part over here, cos 2 multiplied by pi over 4, when you type in your calculator, you will get 0. If your calculator shows your answer in radian form, you actually get 0. So the entire part over here is equals to 0. So I just write it down so that it's more obvious to us that anything multiplied by 0 is still 0. And over here is 1 multiplied by 1, and at the bottom is also 1. So all we get for the answer for m is 3 pi squared over 16. And that's all you need to do to find your gradient. And of course, to find your intersection of c, you can make use of the point you have found over here, where here is your x value, here is your y value. And so just sub in your y and your x, as well as your m, your gradient that you find to find c. So the rest is just more straightforward. You sub in, you multiply the pi with here, and then with the pi square here, you will get pi cubed. And then here you multiply 4 with 16, you will get 64. So it's basically just pi pi cube over 64. That's equals to 3 pi cube over 64. So normally when you come to this part, all you have to do, you don't have to press calculator because the pi cube here is a constant. All you have to worry about is the function over here. So here is basically means 3 over 64 plus something that gives us 1 over 64. So in this case, c is obviously equals to 2 pi cube over 64, which can be simplified to pi cube over 32. And you may rewrite your equation that's y equals to your m. Then you find over here 3 pi squared over 16 multiplied by x, that plus your c value over here that you find. And this is how you approach this question of 3 marks, where the marks will be awarded when you find your correct points, your correct gradient for tangent, as well as your c value.